So oftentimes when you're doing on-market deals and you're working with real estate agents and you're making offers, your offer is quite a bit lower than the list price or the asking price. So should you make lowball offers when trying to buy houses? Jerry Norton here, and welcome back to another video on the Real Estate Freedom TV channel. We are focusing on working with real estate agents. Everything we do on this channel is designed to help you master real estate investing so that you can live your dream life. And in this series that we've put together, we're talking about working with agents. So be sure to follow this playlist that we put together. It's a series of videos all about working with agents. And on this particular video, I want to focus on making low ball offers, and if you should do that and how you do that and how to handle that. Now, it's very common where you get a list of properties, you're working with an agent, hopefully you're following my double dip strategy. If you don't know what that is, be sure to watch the videos in this series where I teach that technique. It's a really cool ninja strategy for getting agents to bring you their deals. And so if you don't know what that is, be sure to learn that because it's absolutely critical to give you a competitive advantage in the marketplace. But what happens when you run your numbers and you get to your buy price and it's a low offer? We call it a low ball offer. It's quite a bit lower than what the seller is asking. Most investors won't make the offer. They just won't. They say, you know what? They're asking, $149 and I need to pay $110. And so I'm just too far off and I won't make the offer. It's a waste of time. There's no way the seller is gonna take my offer, so I'm just not gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna make an offer. I'm gonna go on and look for another deal. Okay, don't do that. Make the offer. I don't care how low it is, make the offer. Remember, it's not your job to determine if the seller is motivated. Your job is to put the offer in front of them and find out if they're motivated. You'll find out if they respond to your offer, right? If they counter and the counter is aggressive, then you'll know they're motivated. Don't be afraid of insulting somebody or offending somebody. Make the offer. Now, here's what often happens with on market. The real estate agent will say to you, I already know right now that the seller is not going to take that offer. It's too low. So I'm not even going to present the offer. It's a waste of my time. Okay, that happens all the time. It's really common. How do you handle that objection? What do you do when you're offering 110 and the asking price is 150? Or I've even done it a lot worse. Let me tell you a story. There was a property listed for $199.9, okay, and my offer was $99. So listed for $200, my offer was $100. It was half. It was half of what the seller was asking. Now, logically, your mind says, well, Jerry, if they're asking $200 and you offer $100, there's no way that you're going to get that deal, right? That's what your logical brain says. But again, make the offer. You never know what's going to happen, and it's not your job to determine what's going to happen. So here's what happened. I make my offer for $100,000. They're asking $200. They reject the offer. A week later, it's still for sale for $200,000. I make my offer again, rejected. A week goes by, it's still for sale. If it's still for sale, then the seller still wants to sell it. I make my offer, rejected. This goes on for 2 months. Every week I make my offer, every week it gets rejected. Finally, my offer gets accepted. Now it's a once in a lifetime thing, right? It gets accepted. I get the offer accepted. And I asked the agent, I say, well, what happened? Why did my offer get accepted? And the agent said to me, he said, well, the seller said to me, it doesn't look like anybody else is interested in this property, and I'm done with it. I'm now ready to sell it. Let's sell it to this guy. He's the only one interested, because I was the only one making offers because it was overpriced and everybody else was going, he's asking way too much. I'm not even going to make an offer. But I didn't. I made the offer even though it was a way lowball offer. Now, does that happen every day? I wish. No, it doesn't. But if you get in the habit of making lots of offers, deals like that will happen. One of my students I work with, Tom Robinson, he did the same thing. They were asking 120, he was offering 60, half. He kept making the offer. He's following my strategy that I teach where you just keep making the offer. He kept making it. Finally, they accepted his offer and they took his $60,000. Okay, so what's the lesson here? Make the offer. How do we handle it though when the agent says, I don't want to make your offer for $60,000, they're asking $120, I don't want to do it because I don't want to waste my time. So here's what I do. I tell the agent, first of all, I say, listen, I know my offer is really low. I get that. You're probably right. The seller probably won't accept my offer because it's too low. But I've seen it happen before, and you never know. Maybe the seller is really motivated today, because motivation changes daily, right? Just because they said no yesterday doesn't mean they say no today. And just because they're asking 120 doesn't mean they won't take 60. It doesn't mean that. Don't think that you know what the seller is thinking, okay? Just make the offer. So I said to the agent, I said, I'll tell you what, let's just make the offer anyway. I know you got to write up the offer. I know you got to present it to the seller. Let's just do it. You never know what happens. And listen, worst case, my low offer is going to help the seller realize that they need to do a price reduction because it's still for sale. It hasn't sold yet. And if I offer 60, maybe they'll realize, you know what, maybe 120 is too high. Maybe we should lower the price a little bit. And by them lowering the price, that's going to help you get closer to where it needs to be and ultimately sell the property. Maybe not to me, but a price reduction is going to help you sell the property, which is ultimately what you want to do. Sell the property, get paid a commission. So just by the motion of presenting my offer, it's helping you get the seller to lower the price, which will help you sell the property. And think about it, right? Isn't that true? It's going to help that agent. So first thing I tell them is that. If they still push back and they say, yeah, I still don't want to do it, it's a waste of time, I can tell you right now that the seller is going to tell you no. Why would we do it if the seller is going to say no? I say, okay, will you at least call up the agent and do a verbal offer? Just tell the seller, hey, I got this investor, they're all cash, they close quickly, but their offer is $60,000. We're at 120 right now. I just want you to know about it because it's my job as your agent to bring you all offers and just let you know. Are you interested in talking to this buyer more? What would you like to do? I just want to let you know about it. Now they haven't wasted any time writing an offer. It's just a simple phone call that the agent can make to the seller. Will you at least do that? In my mind, if the agent at least can call up the seller and do a verbal, make my offer verbally, that's still a huge win for me. Because if that seller is slightly motivated at all, what they'll do is they'll tell the agent, they'll say, you know what, get it in writing and we'll talk. Or I want to see his offer in writing. And whenever an agent says to me on a verbal, hey, let's put it in writing and present it to the seller, I know now that there might be some motivation there. And that'll take us to the next level, which is get it in writing and put it in front of that seller. Okay, so first I try to get the agent to do it in writing. I try to motivate them by telling them that you'll get a price reduction if we at least present my low offer. Okay, no, great, let's do a verbal. A verbal's better than nothing in my mind, and hopefully that will lead to a written offer. And whenever I'm working with agents and whenever I'm making these low offers, I always follow up in writing. Because everything now is usually communicated via a phone call with that agent about what we're trying to do here. So I'll send an email to that agent, and in that email I'll say, okay, here's my offer price, here's my entity, here's my inspection clause, here's my earnest money deposit, here's everything that you need to include in the offer, even if it's a verbal talking to the seller, here's everything, here's what we talked about, here's what you said you were gonna do, and I follow up in writing in an email to just confirm everything we talked about. It's really important you do that because once you hang up from the phone, you don't know if they're going to do it. You want to make sure you follow up in writing with what you said you would do and what they said they would do. Okay? Now, everything I've talked about on this video and on these other videos in this series with working with agents, I put together here in this really cool PDF download. It's got all the scripts, it's got the breakdown, the step-by-step. You can get this for free. It's a free resource. Just click the link in the description and you can get that and have that to help you work with agents and start getting deals, making money in this business. So thanks for being here. Thanks for joining me on this video. Be sure to subscribe, leave a comment if you've got any questions about anything we've talked about. I would love to answer those questions in the comments. and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. And be sure to watch these videos in this series. They kind of all work together. I put a playlist together. You can go into the playlist, into my channel, and you can see that it's the Working with Agents playlist. And we'll group these videos all about working with agents right there for you to make it easy. And I'll see you on the next video.